speaking of your, college experience, what was your first thought when the coaches there at Wisconsin, asked you to switch from tight end to linebacker?
Yeah, at first I took it as a slap in the face. I was because I was battling so many injuries in college. I dislocated my kneecaps on both legs multiple times, and I actually had to get them surgically repaired. Yeah, so I came into college as a tight end. I redshirted, and then in bowl prep I dislocated my right kneecap, and then they said I didn't need surgery or anything like that. So we just kind of rehabbed it. And then came back in spring ball, and like the second practice of spring ball, I dislocated my left kneecap, the other one.
Yeah.
So then,
how painful was that?
Oh, it's terribly painful. I mean, it was one of those things where it pops out, but it pops right back in. So it's just like that ligament is super swollen. The knee blows up, and obviously swelling is never fun to deal with either.
Yeah.
Then I came back in the fall of my redshirt freshman year. So this is my second year in college. And like the second or third day of camp, I tore my knee again, and then just decided to do surgery. But luckily, through the connections of my brother being a Houston Texan and having a great doctor down there, I was able to fly down to Houston, get the surgery done on my right knee. And then I came back for spring ball of the next year. And like the third day of practice, I tore my left knee up.
Wow.
So I had to get surgery. I flew back down, got surgery again. And then my redshirt sophomore year was when that conversation had where they said, you basically, we think it'd be a great idea for you to switch from offense to defense, just because sometimes I dislocated them so many times. It wasn't like cutting. It wasn't non-contact stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like guys falling on my legs and,
just freak injuries, basically.
Yeah, just like weird stuff, like guys falling on my legs or just like being engaged and my leg would cave in weird. So then they basically said defense and took it as kind of like, all right, maybe. Went home, talked to my family, talked to Derek, talked to JJ, and basically just said they'll support whatever decision I make. Watch some YouTube videos of my brother, Von Miller, other guys that get after the quarterback and make a lot of plays, and really fell in love with the mentality of being a defensive player and understand that I don't have to have the ball thrown my way just to be able to make an impact on the game. As a defender, you can truly impact the game on every single play. And I think I fell in love with that and went back the next day and said, let's get started on defense.
So TJ, you mentioned watching YouTube videos of guys rushing the passer. Is it safe to say, I don't want to assume, but I'm asking, is that how you kind of learn the ins and outs to rush the passer at that time? Or were you just more so just looking at some of the things they were doing?
To be honest with you, it sounds corny and cheesy, but just watching my brother so much throughout the years in Houston, and I don't know how much of it was natural, like just in my DNA to do certain rush moves, and how much of it was just what I learned through watching him play over the years. But no, I was very raw, just like anybody else would be very raw their first couple practices. Luckily, I had guys like Joe Schobert was the starting outside linebacker in front of me, and so was Vince Spiegel, who plays for the Dolphins on the other side. So I had good guys at the outside linebacker position, and it wasn't like JJ and I were talking moves and stuff like that yet. I was just trying to get my head around defensive calls. It's way different than an offensive call. You got all the reaction. It was a lot to adjust to.